through fractured generator halls. Wild damage broadcast panels, pulse against blackened ceilings, overloaded relay drums spark beside flooding maintenance trenches, steel walkway sway above packed turbine balls rotating alarm bars. Slice through drifting debris clouds, brutal resonance hammering every surrounding barrier. Wide conduit walls buckle beneath, suffocating sonic pressure and relentless you ride. Be silent bass storms crash through crowded infrastructure beside shattered transmission towers, fractured speaker cages, spraying sparks over flooded inspection knitting splits beneath expanding urgency. Emergency sirens into broken static as damaged relay walls collapse through dense smoke clouds over relentless bursting through every remaining containment barrier under brutal mechanical thunder tonight. Vibration hums. Corroded elevator shutter beside flooded generator rooms, while fractured screens flicker through dense smoke. Torn insulation swings from exposed ceiling beams and overheated wiring spits sparks beside abandoned checkpoints. Narrow catwalk grown beneath down boots as loose valves release, burning steam into cramped corridors. Shattered relay boxes scattered, glowing fragments under rotating hazard lights. Rusted barriers grip concrete flooring. Broken ventilation fans choke the air with metallic dust. Heavy impact shake reinforced chambers buried beneath leaking coolant pipes and damaged storage racks. Every unstable surface rattles from unseen interference, crawling through buried circuits and collapsing machinery tonight. Blurred alarm lights pulse through blackened tunnels, while twisted cables drag sparks across the roaring. Fractured turbines hammer vibration into sealed maintenance halls and shattered control rooms. Compressed air bursts from damaged vents beside grinding steel shutters. No stable command survives once overloaded. Relies the night beneath roaring mechanical strain and spiraling electrical distortion tonight. Phantom signal tears through reinforced sectors with violent disruption. Shatter monitors burst beside swaying platforms, while burning conduits spit sparks into crowded passageways. Every lock sequence collapses beneath rushing vibration. Rusted barriers crack beside glowing relay towers as airborne debris floods and closed corridors. No restraint remains after the violent rupture consumes the final operational chamber tonight. Jagged sparks crawl beneath cracked floor panels, while damaged turbines slam shock waves through underground vaults. Rotating sirens carved through smoke clouds hanging above twisted conveyor tracks and fractured loading bays. Overheated engines roar beside sealed blast doors, while broken cranes swing wildly through drift and ash. Silhouettes shoved through blinding haze as reinforced stairwells buckle from repeated impacts. Leaking chamber frames hanging chains near shattered security gates, while fractured concrete crashes beside overturned transport carriers and unstable electrical discharge splits through very mechanical chamber tonight. Violent interference floods in close sectors, while fractured relays spit sparks into smoke-filled corridors. Rotating hazard lights smear distorted reflections through rising ash and broken steel frames. Unstable current hammers overloaded machinery beside burning coolant pipes. Reinforced barriers split beneath relentless vibration as shattered debris rain through underground vaults and damaged ventilation shafts under crushing mechanical pressure tonight. Phantom signal crushes silent compounds beneath endless electrical chaos. Fractured flooring caves beside broken generators. Wine fragments scattered through enclosed tunnels, towering barriers twist under violent interrupts and unsavory decommerging exchange smoke soaked corridors collapse beside glowing relay stacks as sparks whip through drifting debris. collapsing structure tonight. Fading sirens pulse through abandoned maintenance halls while drifting smoke covers shattered relay panels, twisted chains scrape, rusted beams under weak emergency lights, loose bikes flicker beside leaking coolant trenches, and broken elevator shaft distant in the blocks.
Chromium rail engines scream through flooded tunnel sectors while overloaded turbines spit sparks beside vibrating platform walls, shattered timing panels burst above crowded transit lanes as exhausted crews drag smoke in battery racks jammed cargo elevators bend suspension chains wet violently under brutal velocity pressure rotating compressor drums hammer crack steel barriers beside leaking coolant trenches another propulsion cord detonates impact maintenance ladders ascends burning fragments getting through narrow inspection corridors dense vapor rolls beneath fracture reactor slabs full of emergency strokes like a wily through buried industrial vaults black smoke twisting through overcrowded chambers already collapsing beneath relentless acceleration force tonight. Violent turbine recoil slams against reinforced conduit walls while overloaded engine stacks.
Walls beside gutter rail, trenches, stations, switches, switch, shaking hands.
Warp beams grown beneath expanding propulsion bursts every surrounding corridor rattles from brutal velocity pressure as ruptured drive chambers stream through smoke-filled sectors dragging unstable machinery towards catastrophic overload tonight. Transit halls while rotating acid bars slash through drifting ash clouds brutal acceleration force cracked infrastructure is damaged turbine decks collapsing and burning debris relenting chemical pressure crushing every underground chamber tonight twisted crane frames hang crooked above submerged loading bays while molten residue drips from ruptured ignition housings frantic engineers shove damaged thruster modules through packed stairwells beside shattered monitoring stations rotating exhaust fans scream against warp ventilation grates as propulsion bursts crack observation glass overcrowded maintenance routes bent railings vibrate violently under expanding velocity waves while scorched fragments slide across trembling flooring another compressor eruption tears through reinforced blast shutters and sends burning shards through narrow relay passages deep mechanical thunder rolls beneath fractured generator slabs while collapsing infrastructure drives buried industrial sectors deeper into uncontrollable acceleration chaos
Tonight
cracked conduit walls buckle beneath suffocating a candle forcing in to see burning propulsion surges rip through crowded infrastructure beside shattered turbine cages fractured conduit power spraying sparks over flooded inspection routes while rank splits beneath expanding velocity storms distorted emergency sirens twisting through smoke-filled chambers as damaged reactor walls collapse into black debris clouds relentless acceleration force tearing apart every remaining containment barrier under brutal industrial thunder tonight.
Splintered amplifiers, hammer concrete chambers, wild bolts dance across vibrating platforms. Heavy subtone shove dust from ceiling vents, and cracked barriers pulse beneath relent lords. Choke with smoke is rotating, floodlights slice through airborne debris. Better speaker towers lean beside twisted scaffolds, while metallic shutters rattle under violent impact. Every footstep lands against trembling floors, soaked by leaking coolant and shattered glass. Dense vibration rattles, it was piping near overloaded transporters. corners, no structure withstands the pounding force, consuming every enclosed sector tonight. Blazing sirens spin above flooded machinery, while fractured concrete slides from cracked upper levels, rotating turbines hammer dense shock waves through underground vaults, and loose chains up against rusted columns. Collapsing barriers distorted audio pulses through blackened stairwells, while overheated engines spit smoke near shattered checkpoints, broken lift cables thrash against metal shafts, and damaged blood gets what goes tonight. I'll settle tonight, and reinforced platforms buckle from repeated pattern and resonance beneath the entire structure. The electric pipes burst beside overloaded relays, roaring interference grates, exposed wiring, and drive sparks through flood and maintenance. Corridors, dense sound pressure hammers every reinforced surface until concrete dust clouds the air. Spinning alarm lights blur the smoke gas, collapsing support beams crash into twisted machinery and burning debris below. Systems echo, flood shattered compounds with unstoppable webs and torrents crack beneath brutal vibration, while glowing debris rains through damaged sectors, fractured flooring caves beside roaring amplifier stacks, and overloaded turbines and with them tunnels with crushing force, rusted pillars sway under endless impact as smoke and sparks consume every remaining checkpoint. No silence survives after the final rupture, tears through the collapsing structure tonight. Tonight it
Yeah, blood hard flashes carved through submerged transit tunnels, wild overloaded junction boxes spit blue fire beside dripping concrete pillars, shattered cable tray swing violently above flooded maintenance paths, exhausted technicians shove sparking battery carts to reinforce bulkhead doors as magnetic interference rattles every hanging pipe joint, burn gloves get across wet flooring beside pressure relay cabinets, rotating breaker drums hammer against dented steel barriers endure relentless, electrical recall another transformer burst near crowded access ladders and those moments fragments through smoke choked corridors, vibration pulses beneath crack generator slabs while emergency strobes flicker while they through pack industrial bolts drowning under brutal conductive pressure tonight.
static discharge tears through reinforced wiring channels, overheated capacitor banks, pulse beside flooded inspection lanes, packed operator strike, emergency toggles with trembling arms, fractured corner walls with sparks against smoking rail mounts.
Every surrounding chamber shakes beneath expanding storms. Brutal electrical recoil races through every infrastructure and drags unstable machinery closer towards catastrophic rupture tonight.
Seismic lines shift ripping through reinforced corridors beneath violent electrical interference, overloaded relay towers flashing silver fire beside cracked containment rails, flooded cable trenches erupting under brutal voltage recoil.
While spinning alarm lights flash through dense smoke clouds, magnetic pressure hammering armored support walls and shattered transformers collapse into burning debris, relentless conductive force tearing through packed underground chambers tonight. Yeah, twisted surveillance arms hang crooked above submerged loaded platforms while burning cooling spills from ruptured pressure drums, frantic engineers drag damaged reactor modules through narrow stairways beside shattered control consoles, rotating exhaust fans scream against warp ventilation grates as electrical arcs snap violently over flooded flooring bins, support beams grown beneath expanding magnetic recoil while black smoke coils through crowded access shafts, another capacitor rupture detonates beside reinforced blast doors and sends burning fragments through pack relay passages distant morning. Sirens distorted under crushing interference while unstable current surges beneath trembling industrial sectors already collapsing under endless conductive aggression.
Dense vapor rolls through fractured turbine halls, while damaged scanner pulse against smoke blackened ceilings, overloaded junction plates parked beside flooded conduit trenches, steel walkways tremble above crowded generator vaults as rotating hazard bars slash through Cracked suspension cables tremble above flooded chambers, while dim floodlights mirror white streaks through drifting concrete dust. Narrow catwalks flex beneath pounding footsteps beside sealed pressure doors and fractured turbine housings. Overheated vents release burning vapor into cramped maintenance shafts where loose bolts skitter across metal flooring. Dense vibration cross the reinforced walls lined with damage. Relay towers and hanging chain arrays. Everyone passage tightens under grinding mechanical strain. A shadow support beams go beside buried generators. Rusted stairwells descend through smoke-soaked levels while distant impacts hammer underground shell and unstable debris. Raise from trembling ceilings tonight. Compressed air slams through narrow corridors while reinforced barriers shatter beside glowing relay trenches. Fractured piping rattles above flooded intersections and spinning hazard lights carve through drifting ash. Heavy vibration presses against every concrete surface as damaged turbines roar beneath collapsing car frames and bury maintenance vaults under pushing mechanical pressure tonight. Falling volunteers through again. Sectors will burn ruins from pressure tanks beside sealed transport rails rotating warning lights. Smeared through thick smoke, hanging above broken elevator shafts and twisted conveyor bridges. Exposed conduits bit white sparks near plumbing stairwells where loose debris slides through narrow intersections. There's mechanical pounding rattles underground chambers lined with damaged support columns and reinforced glass doors. Packed silhouettes forced through blinding vapor while shadow throwing caves beneath. Repeated engines shriek through buried maintenance tunnels and fractured ventilation. Ducts as collapsing concrete crashes into smoke-filled generator sectors tonight. Violent tremors hammer buried corridors while fractured turbines grind beside glowing relay towers and cracked suspension. Compressed pressure drives smoke through sealed maintenance shafts as reinforced walls buckle beneath endless strain. Drifting sparks whip through blackened intersections while collapsing machinery crashes into flooded trenches and steel barriers under brewed underground impact tonight. Involved crashes reinforced chambers beneath endless mechanical strain. Shattered platform buckle beside roaring turbines on concrete fragments. Flood smoke so passageways. Fractured board frames split under violent sparks. Lash through enclosed generator halls. Twisted barriers collapse beside flooded relay trenches as buried machinery tears through every unstable sector. No sealed structure survives once the underground compound caves into darkness tonight. Fading impacts to gone. Vault, shattered smoker, shattered transport rails and broken turbine shafts. Weak emergency lights flicker through conduit.
Corroded floodgates trouble beside overloaded reactor corridors while dim steam blasting fractured pipe joints. Crushed inspection cars scrape along stained concrete under flashing hazard bars. Crews drag smoking coolant drums toward jammed elevated shafts and break the panel spit sparks. Packed stairwells, torn gloves skid over leaking chemical residue beside tilted storage racks. Rotating pressure gauges twitch violently under unstable thermal spikes. Distant sirens ricochet through sealed turbine halls while cracked ventilation fans howl above swaying support chains. Another transformer. The walls near collapse, maintenance fencing and sends burning fragments scattering through crowded control sectors. Already choking under unbearable mechanical strain tonight.
Heat distortion ripples over reinforced
grind, halfway shut, then freeze under brutal pressure. Recall every surrounding corridor rattles from expanding thermal forces. Unstable reactors hammer beneath fractured containment walls, and exhausted crews push harder toward total mechanical overload. Fracture detection grid tearing through reinforced chambers beneath violent thermal pressure. Overload a scanner erase, flashing red beside collapsing support rails, shatter relay tower, shaking concrete foundation. Wow, shaking concrete foundation. Black smoke floods crowded inspection lanes, magnetic interference ripping through armored conduits with warning signs, fractured into distorted noise, relentless strength, damaged infrastructure beneath burning reactor storms, screaming electrical recall tonight. Twisted crane arms hang motionless above flooded loading platforms, while molten residue drips from warped conduit cadence, packed engineers sprint through dense vapor, carrying damaged processor blocks beside shattered coolant reservoirs. Emergency beacon strobe against smoke like a ceilings is overloaded, compressors burst near stacked transport containers, metallic dust whips, spinning exhaust fans and cold spam railings beside cracked observation windows. Pressure valves shriek from ruptured turbine chambers, while fractured control screens pulse with unstable diagnostics. Another explosion hammers from underground relay tunnels and sends heavy debris crashing on.
Already collapsing beneath relentless thermal aggression and endless thunder rolls.
Grinding mechanical thunder rolls beneath reinforced flooring, while broken surveillance units far beside flooded cable trenches, overheated pressure tanks vibrate against dented containment walls, steel catwalks sway above back generator bays as rotating hazard lamps flash through dense smoke clouds. Another recall wave tears through damaged relay sections and rattles every remaining support column under suffocating industrial fracture detection grid tearing through reinforced chambers beneath violent thermal pressure. Overload a scanner erase, flashing red beside collapsing support rails, shatter relay tower, shaking concrete foundation. Shaking concrete foundation. Burning reactor surges rip through crowded infrastructure beside shattered conduit towers, reinforced barriers protein. The scanner wall spits silver sparks into smoke-filled chambers. Violent pressure path wide for coolant runnings explodes, owing every final escape route ender. Collapsing mechanical thunder. Unbearable industrial strain. It crackles through it. Damn, his coolant fan spinning beside.
Turbinades course through crowded assembly lanes, while chrome shutters hammer against warp, loading docks scattered tool cars slam sideways from violent foot traffic, torn hazard banners whip above stack server towers and sweating operators shove through narrow aisles, carrying overheated batty cores, red scanner beams cut through drift of smoke near flickering inspection panels. Somebody kicks open a lock relay cabinet and sparks explode over concrete barriers. Fake cable bundles drag under rushing boost beside fractured coolant pipes, dented helmets crash together near unstable generator racks. Pressure builds harder every second, while pack control floors shake beneath stomping. Crowds pushing deeper in a malfunctioning industrial chambers. Heated ventilation ducts roar above packed metal corridors, while warning strobes flash against crack frames. Overloaded processors spit white sparks through broken casing gloved hands. Striking emergency levers without pulse, security gates buckle from repeated collisions. Another surge races through crowded relay tunnels and pulls every Russian figure closer towards catastrophic acceleration. Beside screaming transformer walls, CPU overflow, tearing through packed sectors under brutal kitchen soil. Overheated circuits flashing silver fire beside spinning fan arrays, violent traction, dragging crowded divisions through pressure waves, while damaged consoles burst apart from pressure spikes. Black smoke flooding enclosed chambers beneath, rotating alarm lights amplified current ripping through reinforced ducts. Every lock barrier is a collapsing debris tonight. Distorted sirens bounce through underground freight tunnels, while overloaded coolant pumps spray freezing mist under shattered floor and frantic crews yank twisted wiring from burning conduit trenches beside vibrating storage cranes. Heavy mechanical alarms jerk, uncontrollably overcrowded. Docking platform, crack surveillance screens flicker with collapsing grid maps. As panicked engineers shove cracked tablets against reinforced blast doors. Metallic dust swirls around, damaged reactor shells, bent railings snap under Russian bodies, forcing through flooded maintenance routes, ruptured capacitor banks. Spit blue fire near stack, transport crates, every surrounding wall trembles harder from synchronized impact waves rolling beneath the sprawling industrial maze. Dense smoke hangs over rotating server drums while broken ceiling panels rain sparks beside flooded wiring channels. Packed stairwells echo with pounding boots and distorted speakers. Unstable ray towers pulse against our concrete chambers. Steel partitions bent from repeated collisions as overloaded cooling fans scream beside ruptured turbine housings. Violent electrical interference swallowing every command beneath crushing mechanical thunder. Relentless magnetic recoil, blazing voltage storms hammer through crowded infrastructure beside twisted reactor cages. Fractured conduits spraying sparks over packed control decks while rotating hazard lights drove through rising smoke clouds. Reinforced floor cracking beneath synchronized impact surges. Damaged cooling units exploding beside overloaded distribution walls. Brutal acceleration dragging entire sectors through collapsing pressure zones while deafening interference rattles every remaining support beam into total collapse. Tonight, tonight, tonight.
Static dust bursts from concrete ribs while silver shutters slam against support beams. Narrow hallways flicker under cold inspection lamps. Polished footwear strikes identical in vaults beside endless graphite pillars. Barcode panels blink near sealed elevators covered in ash residue. Ventilation ducts breathe metallic vapor through chamber grids. Silent workers drag black crates beneath the legal arches stained by electric rain. Pressure locks rotate surgical rhythm near reinforced gates. Pale monitors scatter fractured digits over foam flowing distant turbines. Grind behind thick reinforced glass. Every corridor never standing over sealed walls from where synchronized footsteps up without warning, and steel barriers descend hard enough to shake the entire foundation below.
White cables twist around hiding columns while frozen cannons track every shoulder turn.
Pulse readers flash beside narrow stairwells soaked in industrial haze. Thick alarm tones bend through hollow ears as synchronized hands strike steel rails and violent tempo. Sealed doors buckle under constant vibration. Fractured cylinders release.
Dust clouds over motionless security lines. Old machinery drags overloaded current through buried conduits until sparks burst violently from overloaded.
Towards cathedral bound to edge. Neon fracture crawl through marble aisles while pressure sovereigns hammer against reinforcement. Liquors iron chandeliers swing blindly above. Collapsing chambers break surveillance panels causing the static under accelerating impact waves. Dark turbine halls filled with electrical haze. Narrow passageways stored under relentless force. Black involved and dreams split apart while distorted frequencies consume every sealed sector in brutal succession. Tonight bent floodlights spin over flooded gridded floors while armored personnel track scorched terminals through collapsing corridors. Red emergency strips pulse beside fractured elevator shafts packed with smoke residue hanging wires. Whip violently beneath cathedral ceilings as pressure valves rupture behind reinforced walls. Silver drones crash into steel partitions and scatter burning fragments over polished staircases. Distant impact bursts echo through archive chambers lined with frozen display screens. Narrow inspection bridges shake under synchronized marching patterns. Damaged reactor pipes spilled burning vapor beside locked chamber doors. Broken speakers release distorting announcements while iron support frames twist under escalating strain. And entire sectors collapse into dark mechanical voids below. Heavy magnetic locks slam repeating against warp containment gates while scattered debris rolls through empty aisles.
Beside ruptured cable trenches, cracked surveillance towers burst into white distortion.
Through broken cathedral arches, scattered sparks rain beside collapsed archive frames reinforced apart under brutal mechanical pressure. Overloaded conduits erupt through concrete walls, and then the shock vibrations consume remaining sectors beneath, collapsing like thirst for dirt.
Burning static storms but shattered chambers while massive steel partitions fall beside ruptured cable trenches. Cracked surveillance towers burst into white distortion. Under resist
side collapse. Our cop brains reinforced to roll another ring within the game. Move up to boundary.
And then the shock vibrations ensue.
Fractured pillars tremble, beside overloaded transit rails, shattered glass skids, spinning comma boosted, flooded underpasses, base pressure dense aluminum shutters, while tone cable spit, white box into soaked concrete, freight elevators jam halfway and grown like trap machinery, smoke rolls beneath emergency stones, cutting through packed corridors, chrome singed swings violently from cracked ceiling joints, engine scream beneath stacked parking towers, fractured speaker walls, hammer air hard enough to shake ventilation grates loose, crowded intersection buckle under synchronized impact burst, sharp vibration tears, dust clouds from support beams, heat distortion bends every reflection inside collapsing mirror halls. Sirens choke inside narrow chambers packed with static discharge, red hazard strips flash against stripping steel frames overloaded, amplifiers rupture panel locks one after another, tremble and stairwells pulse beneath relentless percussion strikes, body shuffle with through tightening barricades, fractured neon tubes burst above security gates, pressure swells harder each second until even reinforced floor restarts to split beneath the pounding surge, neon glow surge tears through collapsing avenues of weaponized voltage, storm shadow with the train beside overloaded traffic tunnels, crowded rooms tossing night beneath violent speaker, fractured billboards tilt over blocked intersections while silver sparks scatter through dense smoke columns, every impact drives another rupture through concrete arteries, bright cyan reflections shake against flooded pavement, heavy resonance crushes silence beneath unstoppable acceleration and violent urban collapse. Bent railings scrape along the asphalt beside overturned transport carriers. Emergency floodlights flicker through abandoned terminals, packed with drifting ash, shattered monitors, distorted footage onto wet control desk. Steel barricades fold inward from repeat sonic blast. Broken drones spiral from elevated bridges, trailing rocks into the round seas beneath overloaded streams, crowded service tunnels pulse with violent reverberation. Warning horns fracture into metallic distortion near ruptured transformer walls crack, pillars collapse, floating docks dense vibration storms ripple beneath elevated highways, while distant turbine chambers erupting in reinforced blast doors. Heavy distortion through collapsed chambers beneath shattered observation. Deck scorched wiring swings above flooded machine rooms, fractured elevators, shafts echo with violent metallic rattling, compressed bass strikes hammer exposed pipe networks until rust flakes scatter like debris storms, emergency strobes pulse against smoke choked hallways, while overloaded generators scream behind cracked containment walls, every surface trembles beneath brutal resonance, pushing unstable structures toward complete failure, flooded avenues flash beneath violence, cyan reflection on reflections that bleed apart, shattered broadcast towers lean above crowded overpasses, brutal percussion burst shake abandoned transit hubs, where airborne sparks streak through rising smoke spirals. Fractured concrete drops into underground corridors beside overloaded substations. Relentless resonance keeps crushing steel supports and twisting mirrored surface. Packed streets vibrate beneath unstoppable impact waves, driving the entire district deeper into a mechanical room tonight. Broken sirens fade. Having it spark beside overturn inspection courts. Over control towers flicker through dense smoke as exhausted operators shut burning processor blocks door jam. Security shutters bend pipe chains whip violently against crack.
Concrete walls under brutal magnetic recall. Rotating scanner heads twitch erratically beside leaking cooling drums. Another transformer bursts near, crowded maintenance ladders and sends molten debris skidding through narrow access lanes. Fractured observation glass rains on a trembling flooring while distant sirens distort beneath collapsing generator slabs. Black vapor coils through buried industrial chambers.
Already slipping deeper into uncontrollable.
Mechanical chaos tonight.
Twisted breaker panels flash beside flooded cable trenches. One damage broadcast units scream.
No smoke-filled corridors, packed technician levers with blistered hands, warp style base band, electrical recall at inspection hose while spinning. As the light flash through drifting ash clouds.
Through patio hammering, cracked infrastructure as damage control decks collects and tornading debris, relentless trio force crushing every sealed chamber tonight.
Quick surveillance arms hang above submerged loading bays while multi-wearing clips from ruptured server housing. Frantic engineers drag smoking battery crates through packed stairwells beside shattered monitoring stations. Rotating exhaust drums scream against warp ventilation grates as overloaded junction walls burst near flood of maintenance routes bent railing shake violently under expanding vibration waves while scorched fragments slide across trampoline flooring. Another capacitor detonation tears through reinforced glass doors and sends burning shards through crowded relay passages. Deep mechanical thunder rolls beneath fractured turbine slabs collapsing.
Infrastructure drags buried industrial sectors deeper into uncontrolled operational failure. Tonight, dense smoke sheds through shattered generator halls will damage scanner rays. Pulse against
Blackened ceilings overloaded relay drums spark beside flooded conduit trenches steel walkways way above packed turbine vaults as rotating alarm bars cut through drifting debris clouds.
violent radical hammering every surrounding barrier. Wall crack support, walls buckle beneath suffocating industrial pressure and every seal chamber in the night. Burning reactor burst ripped through crowded infrastructure beside shattered transmission cages fractured conduit tower spraying sparks over inspection rounds with beneath its expanding voltage storms distorted emergency sirens twisting through smoke-filled chambers as damage free walls collapse in a black debris clouds regression tearing apart every remaining containment barrier under thunder and dust. Thunder tonight. Fading sparks drift through. Back corridors, damage cooling beside cable trenches, distant generator. Burn turbines, hammer beneath concrete, tunnel while overheated rail spark beside flooded maintenance pits, fractured engines spit paper in the cram loaded bays and shattered barriers scrape violently against reinforced flooring, narrow stairwells pulse with pounding footsteps as rotating hazard lights blur through drift and smoke, loose chains whip against steel columns beside roaring ventilation shafts. Every unstable platform rattles from relentless traction and grinding machinery buried under cracked panels, scorched burning lashes, exposed pipes near collapsing storage racks while damaged transport carriers slam through debris, covered corridors, thick vibration
sectors with vital acceleration. Shattered platforms crack beneath roaring engines, while glowing fragments scatter through enclosed corridors. Corridors ring beside overloaded turbines and airborne debris. Blood smoke soaked chambers under crushing impact. Twisted barriers buckle beneath relentless traction as burning sparks. Street no restraint survives at the final rupture. Tears through every enclosed structure night. Jagged steel plates slam against flooded flooring. While burning coolant pours from fractured pressure tanks. Rotating drills hammer concrete walls beside. Shattered loading gates and unstable transport rails. Dense smoke coils through underground chambers as battered machinery crashes against rusted barriers. Packed silhouettes shoved through narrow intersections beneath spinning alarm lights and falling debris. Exposed cables spit violent arcs beside broken elevator shafts, while reinforced support beams cracked under relentless impact. Overheated motors shriek through sealed maintenance tunnels and damaged relay stations. Every chamber trembles from brutal traction as fractured metal fragments burst through drifting ash and collapsing industrial platforms tonight. Violent momentum floods buried corridors, while fractured turbines roar beneath collapsing silk chains. Stakes strike rusted pillars beside burning relay stacks and shattered coolant trenches. Compressed air erupts from damaged fences. Reinforced flooring buckles beneath relentless impact. Smoke soaked chambers pulse with light and the chain of pulse dirty. Marchers sealed to be rematches through one get down to the root acceleration tonight. Granite corridors stretch beneath frozen windows. Cast our reflections through drifting vapor. Synchronized boots strike metal flooring beside sealed chamber doors and rotating surveillance arms. Narrow elevator shafts underneath stack control desks. Line with glowing monitors, dense smoke curls from overheated relays near towering concrete walls. And suspended cable erase every measured action locks in the mechanical precision as reinforced gates slide open beside number platform. Cold ventilation streams through blackened passageways, carrying metallic dust and electrical static. Silent operators stand beside illuminated consoles while distant machinery pounds beneath. Buried infrastructure and endless industrial geometry too. Or the pressure tight and sealed compounds, while rotating scanners sweep through smoke-filled intersections. Fractured sparks crawl beneath armored flooring beside towering lake columns and reinforced jack shatters descend beside glowing terminals. The synchronized infrastructure locks every chamber beneath brutal tension. Towering pillars fraying enclosed corridors while glowing relays pulse through smoke vaults. Reinforced flooring shakes beside roaring turbines and endless rows of cold machinery. Drifting sparks carved through armored intersections as sealed barriers tighten around every operational sector. No deviation escapes after the full sequence seals the entire compound under crushing industrial order tonight. Blackened turbine walls vibrate beneath suspended cable bridges, while fractured coolant pipes hiss beside reinforced loading bays. Rotating hazard lights weave through endless corridors lined with numbered steel doors. Sealed transport rails packed silhouettes march through smoke clouds beneath hanging surveillance frames and concrete arches. Exposed conduits crackle beside armored terminals, while elevator platforms descend into buried mechanical vaults. Narrow maintenance shafts pulse with grinding pressure from distant engines and collapsing pressure tanks. Vibration rattles back relay towers near flooded generator trench, while metallic debris drips through sealed intersections under
Fracture terminal, spit white sparks beside crack ventilation towers, cold residue sliding down steel frames under vibrating fluorescent bars. Heavy boots scrape oil stains while lock gates slam from magnetic recoil. Pressure sirens step through concrete corridors and flood every chamber with distorted static. Red caution strips peel from support beams as rotating scanners jerk sideways from unstable current. Mast operators shove bodies through narrow passages beneath dripping ceiling pipes. Rust flakes scatter over broken monitors. Breath turns sharp beside overloaded battery. Racks distant turbines ground without rhythm. Shattered glass skips along the floor whenever another pulse tears through the underground vault beneath the city grid. Lights twitch above packed control rooms while cables whip against collapsing rails. Trembling fingers slam mechanical toggles harder with every passing tremor. Two elevators freeze between levels. Overheated relay spit blue flashes into crowded stairwells. Nobody slows, nobody questions the violent drag, pulling every lock section deeper into mechanical obedience under collapsing pressure fields. Signal baseline drift, crushing every lock direction beneath. Distorted voltage storms, fracture conductor shaking concrete ribs until warning panels burst apart. Pressure coils tightening, harder beside spinning radar arrays. Violent traction pulling crowded sectors in a forced alignment. Heaven is striking on the walls like broken relays scream through sealed chambers. No silence in survive under overloaded current streams tonight. Then transmission post collapse onto crowded service roads while armored transport units skip through flooded intersections. Black residue sprays from ruptured junction boxes beside tilted security fences. Operators bar clip doors through damaged heads. It says unstable frequency bursts ripple under reinforced flooring. Overheated capacitors explode near stacked containers and send sparks raining over crouched figures. Emergency shutters slam down with brutal force, trapping entire divisions beside humming generators. Metallic debris tumbles through rotating fan tunnels. Shattered antenna frames swing wildly above exposed wiring and grids. Every impact sends another violent recoil through packed industrial chambers where exhausted crews drag malfunctioning hardware toward burning inspection. No mechanical chanting rolls through buried maintenance halls while rotating hazard lamps carve red circles over dented plating. Reinforced doors bend inward from repeated impacts. Overloaded reactors. Hammer deep beneath concrete foundations. Smoke clouds twist around damaged catwalks as fractures speak or erase but distorted commands into packed chambers. Every surrounding surface rattles harder beneath expanding voltage pressure until entire support columns begin leaning sideways under unbearable stress. Signal baseline drift, crushing every lock direction beneath. Distorted voltage storms, fracture conductor shaking concrete ribs until warning panels burst apart. Pressure coils tightening, harder beside spinning radar arrays. Violent traction pulling crowded sectors into forced alignment. Heavy Albert Einstein full story inside just colors take a solo life body on walk in the grind and turbo noise. Scattered sauces falling smoke clouds, steel doors filled, hanging crooked from broken hinges. Exhausted footsteps dragging over shattered fragments while unstable current flows endlessly beneath the buried structure. Rusted speaker walls, thunder beside, flooded relay corridors with shattered ceiling panels. Rain dust on a crowded server aisles, overloaded base pressure rattles hanging pipe chains above. Vibrating coolant tanks, exhausted crews drag scorched amplifier units through narrow inspection lanes as cracked monitor glass bursts under relentless sonic recoil. Bent storage cages, straight concrete flooring beside spinning ventilation drums. Heavy frequency waves hammer reinforced shutters until bolts scatter into smoke-filled stairwells. Another audio stack detonates near collapse maintenance fencing. It sends metallic fragments slicing through packed industrial chambers. Deep vibration rolls beneath trembling generator slaps while warning lights flicker violently through buried sectors, choking under brutal comps to tonight.
Distorted frequency slam against reinforced conduit walls while overloaded broadcast tower spin sparks beside flooded cable trenches. Packed operators strike emergency breakers. Force away this hammer. Shovel suffocating sound bust as fractions in the walls distort sectors tonight.
Twisted transmission, cranes hang motionless above flooded loading decks. While molten wearing drips from ruptured audio consoles, frantic engineers shove damaged base modules through crowded stairwells. Beside smoking transformer cabinets, rotating exhaust fans scream against warp ventilation grates as pressure bursts, activation glass, pack inspection routes. Bed railings vibrate violently under expanding resonance waves will scorch debris skids across trembling flooring. Another amplifier bank erupts beside reinforced blast shutters and sends burning fragments through smoke-filled relay passages. Deep mechanical thunder rolls beneath buried reactor slabs as overload sound pressure tears apart. Crowded industrial zones already collapsing under endless aggression tonight.
Dense smoke coils through fractured generator halls. Wild damage broadcast panels pulse against blackened ceilings. Overloaded relay drums spark beside flooding maintenance trenches. Steel walkway sway above packed turbine bolts rotating alarm bars.
Slice through drifting debris clouds, brutal resonance hammering every surrounding barrier. Wide conduit walls buckle beneath, suffocating sonic pressure.
River then lets you ride these.
Violent bass storms crash through crowded infrastructure beside shattered transmission tower. Fractured speaker cages spraying sparks over flooded inspection knitting. Splits beneath expanding emergency. Emergency sirens into broken static as damaged relay walls collapse through dense smoke clouds. Over relentless flow bursting through every remaining containment barrier. Under brutal mechanical thunder tonight.
Vibration hums.
Corroded elevator shut up inside flooded generator rooms while fractured screens flicker through dense smoke. Torn insulation swings from exposed ceiling beams and overheated wiring spits. Sparks beside abandoned checkpoints. Narrow camera blown beneath pounding boots as loose valves release. Burning steam into cramped corridors. Shattered relay boxes scattered. Glowing fragments under rotating hazard lights. Rusted barriers scrape concrete flooring while broken ventilation fans choke the air with metallic dust. Heavy impact shake reinforced chambers buried beneath leaking coolant pipes and damaged storage racks. Every unstable surface rattles from unseen interference. Crawling through buried circuits and collapsing machinery tonight. Blurred alarm lights pulse through blackened tunnels while twisted cables drag sparks across flooded flooring. Fractured turbines hammer vibration into steel maintenance halls and shattered control rooms. Compressed air bursts from damaged vents beside grinding steel shutters. No stable command survives once overloaded. Relies the night beneath roaring mechanical strain and spiraling electrical distortion tonight. Phantom signal tears through reinforced sectors with violent disruption. Shatter monitors burst beside swaying platforms while burning conduits spit sparks into crowded passageways. Every lock sequence collapses beneath unching vibration. Rusted barriers crack beside blowing relay towers as airborne debris floods and closed corridors. No restraint remains after the violent rupture consumes the final operational chamber tonight. Jagged sparks crawl beneath cracked floor panels while damaged turbines slam shock waves through underground vaults. Rotating sirens carved through smoke clouds hanging above twisted conveyor tracks and fractured loading bays. Overheated engines roar beside sealed glass doors while broken cranes swing wildly through drift and ash. Crowded silhouettes shoved through blinding hazes. Reinforced stairwells buckle from repeated impacts. We contend with rails hanging chains near shattered security gates. While fractured concrete crashes beside overturned transport carriers and unstable electrical discharge spreads through buried mechanical chambers tonight.
Fading sirens pulse through abandoned maintenance halls. Reflecting smoke covers shattered relay panels, twisted chain scrape, rusted beams under weak emergency lights. Loose sparks flicker beside leaking coolant trenches and broken elevator shafts, distant impacts.
Chromium rail engines scream through flat tunnel sectors are overloaded. Turbines spit sparks beside vibrating platform walls, shattered timing panels burst above current transit lanes. Lost to cruise drag smoking battery racks toward jammed cargo elevators, bent suspension chains wet violently under brutal velocity pressure, rotating compressor drums, hammer cracks, steel barriers beside leaking coolant trenches. Another propulsion core detonates near pack maintenance labs and sends burning fragments getting through narrow inspection corridors. Dense vapor rolls beneath fractured reactor slabs while emergency strokes like a volley through buried industrial walls. Black smoke twisting through overcrowded chambers, already collapsing beneath relentless acceleration force tonight. Violent turbine recoil slams against reinforced conduit walls while overloaded engine stacks.
Both beside flooded rail trenches, stacks switches with shaking hands.
Warp beams grown beneath expanding propulsion bursts. Every surrounding corridor rattles from brutal velocity pressure is ruptured drive chambers. Scream through smoke-filled sectors, dragging unstable machinery towards catastrophic overload tonight.
Zero life boost, tearing through reinforced corridors beneath violent propulsion recoil. Overloaded engine towers, flashing silver sparks beside fractured containment rails.
Black smoke flooding crowded transit halls while rotating hazard bars flash through drifting ash clouds. Brutal acceleration force hammering cracking structure is damaged. Turbine necks collapse into burning debris. Relentless pressure crushing every underground chamber tonight. Twisted crane frames hang lifted above submerged loaded bays while molten residue drips from ruptured ignition housings. Frantic engineers shove damaged thruster modules through packed stairwells beside shattered monitoring stations. Rotating exhaust fans scream against warp ventilation grates as propulsion bursts. Crack observation glass overcrowded maintenance routes. Bent railings vibrate violently under expanding velocity wave while scorched fragments slide across trembling flooring. Another compressor rushing tears through reinforced glass shutters and sends burning shards through narrow relay passages. Deep mechanical thunder rolls beneath fractured generator slabs while collapsing infrastructure drives buried industrial sectors deeply into uncontrollable acceleration chaos. Way above crowded propulsion vaults as rotating alarm bars cut through drifted debris clouds. Brutal engine recoil hammering every surrounding barrier while cracked conduit walls buckle beneath suffocating and cannot force an endlessly burning propulsion surges rip through crowded infrastructure beside shattered turbine cages, fractured conduit towers, spraying sparks over flooded inspection routes while rain splits beneath standing velocity storms. Distorted emergency sirens twisting through smoke-filled chambers as damaged reactor walls collapse into black debris clouds. Relentless acceleration force tearing apart every remaining containment barrier under brutal industrial thunder tonight.
Splintered amplifiers, hammer concrete chambers, while loose bolts dance across vibrating platforms. Heavy subtone shove dust from ceiling vents, and cracked barriers pulse beneath relentless. Choked with smoke as rotating floodlights slice through airborne debris. Better speaker towers lean beside twisted scaffolds, while metallic shutters rattle under violent impact. Every footstep lands against trembling floor and
soaked by leaking coolant and shattered glass, dense vibration rattles, exposed piping near overloaded transformers, flickering displays smear distorted patterns through steam clouds while crowded passageways tighten beneath roaring mechanical pressure and grinding industrial noise. Tonight, thick base pressure floods and close sectors until rust flakes rain from signs. Fractured railings bend beside generators while torn cables spin wide. Sparks into packed intersections sharp. Reverberating slams against a brick flood tunnel sealed. Doors shake violently as compressed air bursts through devilish gas. System echo crushes silent chambers beneath endless vibration. Shatter monitors burst beside tilting platforms while roaring frequencies scrape every rusted surface of a subsicle expels the air. Airborne debris swarms through smoke-filled corridors. No structure withstands the pounding force, consuming every enclosed sector tonight. Blazing sirens spin above flooded machinery while fractured concrete slides from cracked upper levels. Rotating turbines hammer dense shockwaves through underground vaults and loose chains whip against rusted columns. The collapsing barriers, distorted audio pulse, sister blackened stairwells while overheated engines spit smoke near shattered checkpoints. Broken link cables smash against walls and damaged flood gas flood goes tonight. Unsettled demise and spray impulse platforms buckle from repeat impacting. Resonance running the entire structure. The mics at the pipes burst beside overloaded. Delays, roaring interference grates, exposed wiring and drive sparks through flooded maintenance. Corridors, dense sound pressure hammers every reinforced surface until concrete dust clouds the air. Spinning alarm lights blurred through smoke gas, collapsing support beams crash into twisted machinery and burning debris below. System echo floods shattered compounds with unstoppable webs and terrans crack beneath brutal vibration. Now glowing debris race through damaged sectors, fractured flooring caves beside roaring amplifier stacks and overloaded turbines on rhythm tunnels with crushing force. Rusted pillars sway under endless impact as smoke and sparks consume every remaining checkpoint. No silence survives after the final rupture tears through the collapsing structure tonight.
Submerged transit tunnels, wild overloaded junction boxes, spit blue fire beside dripping concrete pillars, shattered cable trays swing violently above flooded maintenance paths, exhausted technician shove, sparking battery carts to reinforce bulkhead doors as magnetic interference rattles every hanging pipe joint. Burn gloves skid across wet flooring beside fractured reeling cabinet. Rotating breaker drums hammer against dented steel barriers endure relentless. Electrical recall another transformer burst near crowded access ladders and thunder rolled in fragments through smoke choked corridors. Dusty vibration pulses beneath congenerated slabs while emergency strobes flicker while they through packing industrial bolts around loaded brutal conjunctive pressure tonight.
Static discharges the rate of burning channels while overheated faucet or bags. Cold space like flooded inspection lanes packed. Operators strike. Emergency toggles and trembling arms. Fracture conduit walls spit sparks against smoke and rail mounts.
Every surrounding shakes beneath these standing vulture storms as brutal electrical recoil races through buried infrastructure and drags unstable machinery closer towards catastrophic rupture tonight.
Seismic lines shift, ripping through reinforced corridors beneath violent electrical interference. Overloaded relay towers flashing silver fire beside cracked containment rails. Flooded cable trenches erupting under brutal voltage recoil.
tonight. Distant surveillance arms hang crooked above. Submerged loading platforms while burning coolant spills through rupture pressure drums. Frantic engineers drag damage reactor modules through narrow stairwells beside shattered control consoles. Rotating exhaust fans scream against warp ventilation grates as electrical arcs snap violently over flooded floor and bend support beams grown beneath expanding magnetic recoil while black smoke coils through crowded access shafts. Another capacitor rush detonates beside reinforced blast doors and sends burning fragments through pack relay passages. Distant warning sirens distorted under crushing interference while unstable current surge beneath trembling industrial sectors already collapsing under endless conductive aggression.
Dense vapor rolls through pressure turbine halls while damage interrupts pulse against smoke blackened ceilings. Overloaded junction plates mark beside flooded conduit trenches. Steel walkways tremble above routed generator bolts as rotating hazard bars flash through drifting ash clouds. Brutal electrical resonance.
Hammering every surrounding wall while broken relay drums shake violently beneath suffocating industry. Undone industrial thunder and relentless
Conductive pressure tonight. Violent large storms crash through crowded infrastructure beside burning transformer cages. Fractured conduit towers spraying sparks over flooded inspection routes while reinforced linear expanding voltage bursts magnetic interference twisting emergency sirens. Inviting the catalog. Cracked suspension cables tremble above flooded chambers while dim floodlights mirror white streets through drifting concrete dust. Narrow catwalks flex beneath pounding footsteps beside sealed pressure doors and fractured turbine housings. Overheated vents release burning vapor into cramped main and shafts where loose bolts skitter across metal flooring. Dense vibration crawls through reinforced walls lined with damage relay towers and hanging chain arrays. Every comfort has its titans under grinding mechanical strain. The shadows support beams grown beside buried generators on steel stairwells descend through smoke soaked levels while distant impacts hammer the underground shell and unstable debris raised from trembling ceilings tonight. Compressed air slams through narrow corridors while reinforced barriers beside glowing relay trenches. Fractured piping rattles above flooded intersections and spinning hazard lights carve through drifting edge. Heavy vibration presses against every concrete surface. Damaged turbines roar beneath collapsing drains and very maintenance vaults under crushing mechanical pressure tonight. Falling volunteers through again. Tears while burning coolant leaks from fractured pressure tanks beside steel transport rails rotating warning. Smeared through thick smoke hanging above broken elevator shafts and twisted conveyor bridges exposed conduit spit white sparks near crumbling stairwells where loose debris slides through narrow intersections. Dense mechanical pounding rattles underground chambers lined with damaged support columns and reinforced glass doors. Packed silhouettes forced through blinding vapor while shadow flooring caves beneath. Repeated engines shriek through buried maintenance tunnels and fractured ventilation. Ducts as collapsing concrete crashes into smoke-filled generator sectors. Reinforced chambers beneath endless mechanical strain. Shattered platform buckle beside roaring turbines on concrete fragments. Blood smoke soaked passageways. Fractured board frames split.
underground compound caves into darkness tonight. Fading impacts to go. Falling vaults, shattering string smoker, shattered transport rails and broken turbine shafts, weak emergency lights flicker through fawn dust.
Corroded floodgates tremble beside overloaded reactor corridors, while dense steam blasts through fractured pipe joints. Crushed inspection carts scrape along stained concrete under flashing hazard bars. Exhausted crews drag smoking coolant drums toward jammed elevated shafts as breaker panel spit sparks into packed stairwells. Torn gloves skid over leaking chemical residue beside tilted storage racks. Rotating pressure gauges twitch violently under unstable thermal spikes. Distant sirens ricochet through sealed turbine halls, while cracked ventilation fans howl above swaying support chains. Another transformer erupts near collapse. Maintenance fencing and sends burning fragments scattering through crowded control sectors, already choking under unbearable mechanical strain tonight.
Heat distortion ripples over reinforced plating, while the loaded terminals flicker beside smoking.
Relay banks packed, operators slam metal switches with blister hands. Emergency shutters grind, halfway shut, then freeze under brutal pressure. Recoil every surrounding corridor rattles from expanding thermal forces. Unstable reactors hammer beneath fractured containment walls, and exhausted crews push harder toward total mechanical overload. Fracture detection grid tearing through reinforced chambers beneath violent thermal pressure. Overload a scanner erase, flashing red beside collapsing support rails. Shatter relay tower shaking concrete foundation. Wow, wow, shaking concrete foundation. Black smoke floods crowded inspection lanes. Magnetic interference ripping through armored conduits as warning. Sirens fracture into distorted noise. Relentless strain crushing damaged infrastructure beneath burning reactor storms. A screaming electrical recall tonight. Twisted crane arms hang motionless above flooded loading platforms, while molten residue drips from warped conduit cages. Packed engineers sprint through dense vapor carrying damaged processor blocks beside shattered coolant reservoirs. Emergency beacons strobe against smoke blackened ceilings as overloaded compressors burst near stacked transport containers. Metallic dust whips through spinning exhaust fans and coach band railings beside cracked observation windows. Pressure valves shriek from ruptured turbine chambers, while fractured control screens pulse with unstable diagnostics. Another explosion hammers through underground relay tunnels and sends heavy debris crashing on.
Already collapsing beneath relentless thermal aggression, and it was thunder.
Grinding mechanical thunder rolls beneath reinforced flooring, while broken surveillance units bar beside flooded cable trenches. Overheated pressure tanks vibrate against dented containment walls. Steel catwalks sway above back generator bays as rotating hazard lamps slash through dense smoke clouds. Another recoil wave tears through damaged relay sections and rattles every remaining support column under suffocating industrial
Fracture detection grid tearing through reinforced chambers beneath violent thermal pressure. Overload a scanner arrays, flashing red beside collapsing support rails. Shatter relay tower shaking concrete foundation. Shaking concrete foundation. Burning reactor surges rip through crowded infrastructure beside shattered conduit towers. Reinforced barriers pertain the skin of walls, spin sparks into smoke-filled chambers. Violent pressure paths wide, forged coolant linings explode, zoning every final escape route under collapsing mechanical thunder. An unbearable industrial strain.
It crackles through. Damn, his coolant fan spinning beside.
Turbinates course through crowded assembly lanes, chrome shutters hammer against warp, loading docks scattered tool cars slam sideways from violent full traffic torn hazard banners whip above stacked server towers as operators shut the narrow aisles carrying overheated battery generator racks, pressure builds harder every second. While pack control, floors shake beneath stomping. Crowds pushing deeper into malfunctioning industrial chambers. Heated ventilation ducts roar above packed metal corridors with warning strobes flash against cracked frames. Overloaded processor spit white sparks through broken casing, gloved hands. Striking energy levers without pulse. Security gates buckle from repeated collisions. Another surge races through crowded relay tunnels and pulls every Russian nigga closer towards catastrophic acceleration. The side scream and transformer walls. CPU overflow, tearing through packed sectors under parole. Kids and soil, overheating circuits, flashing silver fire. The side spinning fan arrays, violent traction. Dragging crowded divisions through pressure waves, wild damage consoles. Pressure pop and pressure spikes, black smoke flooding enclosed chambers beneath. Rotating alarm lights, amplified current ripping through reinforced ducts. Every large barrier into the collapsing debris tonight. Stored sirens bounce through underground freight tunnels. While overloaded, coolant pumps spray freezing mist on the shattered floor and frantic crews yank twisted wiring from burning conduit trenches beside vibrating storage cranes. Heavy mechanical alarms jerk uncontrollably overcrowded. Docking platform dark surveillance screens flicker with collapsing grid maps as panicked engineers shove cracked tablets against reinforced blast doors. Metallic dust swirls around damaged reactor shells. Bent railings snap under Russian bodies forcing through flood and maintenance routes. Ruptured capacitor banks spit blue fire near stack. Transport crates every surrounding wall trembles harder from synchronized impact waves rolling beneath the sprawling industrial maze. Dense smoke hangs over rotating server drums while broken ceiling panels rain sparks beside flooded wiring channels. Packed stairwells echo with pounding boots and distorted speakers. Unstable ray towers pulse against dark concrete chambers. Steel partitions bent from repeated collisions as overloaded coolant fans scream beside ruptured turbine housings. Violent electrical interference swallowing every command beneath crushing mechanical thunder. Relentless magnetic recoil. Blazing voltage storms hammer through crowded infrastructure beside twisted reactor cages. Fractured conduits spraying sparks over control decks while rotating hazard lights drove through rising smoke clouds. Reinforced flooring cracking beneath synchronized impact surges. Damaged cooling units exploding beside overloaded distribution walls. Brutal acceleration dragging entire sectors through collapsing pressure zones while deafening interference rattles every remaining support beam into total collapse. Tonight,
Static dust bursts from concrete ribs while silver shutters slam against support beams. Narrow hallways flicker under cold inspection lamps. Polished footwear strikes identical to the walls beside endless graphite pillars. Barcode panels blink near sealed elevators coated in ash residue. Ventilation ducts metallic to chain grids. Silent windows drag black bricks beneath cathedral arches stained by electric rain. Pressure locks rotate with surgical rotor. Breaking force gates, pale monitors scatter fractured digits over chrome flowing distant turbines. Ground behind thick reinforced glass. Every corridor never tight over sealed bones from where synchronized footsteps hop without warning. And steel barriers descend hard enough to shake the entire foundation below. Pulse readers flash beside narrow stairwells soaked in industrial haze. Thick alarm tones bent through hollow chambers as synchronized hands strike steel walls and violent tempo sealed doors buckle under constant vibration. Fractured ceiling plates release.
dust clouds over motionless security lines, cold machines. Drags overloaded current through buried conduits until sparks burst violently from overloaded.
Towards cathedral boundary edge, neon fracture crawl through marble out. While pressure silence hammer against reinforced span. Electric iron chandeliers swing finally above. Collapsing chambers, bright surveillance panels bursting the static thunder. Accelerating impact waves, dark turbine halls flooded with electrical waves. Narrow passageways stored under relentless force. Black involved and dreams split apart. While distorted frequencies seem to consume every sealed sector in brutal succession. Tonight, bend floodlights spin over flooded granite floors while armored personnel drag scorched terminals through collapsing corridors, red emergency strips, pulse beside fractured elevator shafts packed with smoke residue, hanging wires whipped violently beneath cathedral ceilings as pressure valves rupture behind reinforced walls, silver drones crash into steel partitions and scatter burning fragments over polished staircases, distant impact bursts echo through archive chambers lined with frozen display screens, narrow inspection bridges shake under synchronized marching patterns, damaged reactor pipes filled, burning vapor beside locked chamber doors, broken figures released, distorting announcements while iron support frames twist under escalating strain and entire sectors collapse into dark mechanical voids below, heavy magnetic locks slam repeated against warp containment gates while scattered debris rolls through empty aisles beneath.
Failing scaring, stabbing minds like shadows. The looking taburns push beside ruptured cable trenches, crack surveillance towers burst into white distortion.
Backfields, smoke pours through broken cathedral arches, scattered sparks rain beside collapsed frames reinforced apart the brutal mechanical pressure overloaded concrete walls and never shot vibrations consuming meaning sectors beneath collapsing like thirst return.
Static storms will shatter chambers while massive steel partitions fall beside ruptured cable trenches, crack surveillance towers burst into white distortion under light resist infranies.
Black turbine smoke pours through broken cathedral arches, scattered sparks rain beside collapsed archive frames reinforced to roll it through the radiant universe rings through up into rock to Valkyrie.
And then the shock vibration into fractured pillars tremble, that overloaded transit rails, shattered glass skids, bending combat boots near flooded underpasses, base pressure dense aluminum shutters, locked on cable spit, white sparks into solid concrete, freight elevators jam halfway and grown like machinery, smoke rolls beneath emergency strolls, packed corridors closed, finished swings silently from cracked ceiling joints, engine screaming, stacked parking towers, fractured sticker walls, hammer air hard enough to shake ventilation, grates loose, crowded intersection, buckle under synchronized impact burst, sharp vibration, tears, dust clouds from support beams, heat distortion bends every reflection inside collapsing mirrors.
rising smoke spiral. Fractured concrete drops into underground. Storm saddle, substations, relent resonance. Keeps pushing steel supports and twisting mirrors. Packed streets vibrate beneath unstoppable impact waves, driving the entire district deep into mechanical tonight. Broken sirens
Concrete walls under brutal magnetic recall. Rotating scanner heads twitch erratically beside leaking cooling drums. Another transformer bursts near crowded maintenance ladders and sends molten debris skidding through narrow access lanes. Fractured observation glass rains on a trembling corridor distance. Sirens distort beneath collapsing generator slabs. Black paper coils through burying industrial chambers.
already slipping deeper into our
Mechanical chaos tonight.
twisted breaker panels, left beside medical trenches while Dennis broadcast units scream.
Smoke-filled corridors, packed technician levers with blistered hands, warped out baseband, electrical recall and inspection hose while spinning hazard lights slash through drifting ash clouds.
Through patio hammering, cracked infrastructure as damage control decks breaks and turbulent debris, relentless trio force crushing every sealed chamber tonight.
Quick surveillance arms hang above submerged loading bays while molten wearing drips from ruptured server housing. Frantic engineers drag smoking battery with crates to back stairwells beside shattered monitoring stations. Rotating exhaust drums scream against warped ventilation grates as overloaded junction walls burst in flood of maintenance routes bent railing shake violently under expanding vibration waves. Scorched fragments slide across trembling flooring. Another capacitor detonation tears through reinforced glass doors and sends burning shards through crowded relay passages. Deep mechanical thunder rolls beneath fractured turbine slabs while collapsing.
Infrastructure drags their industrial sectors deeper into uncontrolled operational failure tonight. Dense smoke churns through shattered generator halls with damage scanner rays walls again.
Black ceilings overloaded, relay drones spark beside flooded gutter with trenches full of walkways way above back turbine bones as rotating alarm bars cut through drifting debris clouds.
Through crowded infrastructure beside shattered transmission cages fractured conduit tower spraying sparks over flooded infections. Ruthless splits beneath expanding voltage storms distorted emergency sirens twisting through smoke-filled chambers as damage re-walls collapse and the black debris progression, tearing apart every remaining containment barrier under thunder industry, thunder tonight. Fading sparks drift through.
Rails spark beside flooded maintenance pits, fractured engines, spit vapor into cram loading bays and shattered barriers, scrape violently against reinforced floor, narrow stairwells pulse with pounding footsteps as rotating hazard lights blur through drift and smoke, loose chains whip against steel currents beside roaring ventilation shafts, every unstable platform rattles from relentless traction and grinding machinery buried under cracked panels, scorched burning lashes, exposed pipes, near collapsing storage racks, by damaged transport carriers slam through debris, covered corridors, thick vibration drives, scattered fragments across trembling surfaces under brutal mechanical strain tonight. Heated pressure floods enclosed sectors while pressured vein tracks reach beside glowing relay towers, rusted shutters crash under sparks with through smoke-filled intersections, spinning floodlights carve violent reflections through airborne dust as unstable machinery roars beneath packed tunnels and damaged support. The mechanical force tonight. Origin base drives through collapsing sectors with violent acceleration. Shattered platforms crack beneath roaring engines while glowing fragments scattered through enclosed corridors ring beside overloaded turbines and airborne debris, blood smoke soaked chambers under crushing impact, twisted barriers buckle beneath relentless traction as burning sparks street no restraint survives at the final rupture, tears through every enclosed drop tonight. Jagged steel plates slam against flooded flooring while burning coolant pours from fractured pressure tanks, rotating drills hammer concrete walls beside shattered loading gates and unstable transport rails, then smoke pours through underground chambers as battered machinery crashes against rusted barriers, packed silhouettes shoved through narrow intersections beneath spinning alarm lights and falling debris, exposed cables spit violent arcs beside broken elevator shafts while reinforced support beams cracked and relentless impact overheated motors shriek through sealed maintenance tunnels and damaged relay stations, every chamber trembles from brutal traction as fractured metal fragments burst through drifting ash and collapsing industrial platforms tonight. Violent momentum floods buried corridors while fractured turbines roar beneath collapsing so chains stay strike rusted pillars beside burning relay stacks and shattered coolant trenches, compressed air erupts from damaged vents as reinforced flooring buckles beneath relentless impact, smoke soaked chambers pulse with fine and the chemicals sturdy marchers sealed to be breathed ashes through one get down to their brute acceleration tonight. Granite corridors stretched beneath frozen floodlights, while polished steel pillars cast off reflections, drifting vapor synchronized beam strike metal flooring beside sealed chamber doors, entertaining surveillance arms, narrow elevator shafts, summoning stacked control decks, lava flowing monitors, dense smoke curls from overheated relays near towering concrete walls, and suspended capillaries, every measured action locks in their mechanical precision as reinforced gates slide open beside another platform, cold ventilation streams through blackened passageways, carry metallic dust and electrical static. Silent operators stand beside illuminated consoles while distant machinery pounds beneath buried infrastructure and endless industrial geometry too. Order pressure tight and sealed compounds while rotating scanners sweep through smoke-filled intersections, fractured sparks crawl beneath armored flooring beside towering lake columns and reinforced check shutters descend beside
seals the entire compound under crushing industrial order tonight.
Blackened turbine halls vibrate beneath suspended cable bridges, while fractured coolant pipes hiss beside reinforced loading bays. Rotating hazard lights sweep through endless corridors lined with numbered steel doors, and sealed transfer rails packed silhouettes march through smoke clouds beneath hanging surveillance frames and concrete arches.